Well, Robby Starbuck is back, isn't he? He made a few claims that I didn't pay attention to because I had nothing to do with sort of the topic that we cover on this website. More automotive, motorcycle, and automotive related. And to be honest with you, I wasn't going to do anything else. He made a big claim about Lowe's, not the food place, but the place where you go, like Home Depot, and get all your building supplies and whatnot. And it was same thing, Robby Starbuck claimed big win. I waited 2 days just for shits and giggles to go see if it was true, and DEI is still on their website at Lowe's, and they still practice DEI no matter what he says. This one I want to go a little bit into detail a little better, I guess. It's the best way to put it. And since it concerns something that I am interested in, especially restoring old Fords, which, by the way, you'll notice, I have this shirt because of that. I restored my 1980 Ford F-350, and I didn't do the best job on it, but, I cataloged all of it as a restorationist to hopefully give people the ability or the inspiration to do the same thing. So this is about Ford, and first thing I want to do, though, because Starbuck is starting to get a little bit more clever since he's been under the gun about his actual efforts and claiming the win. We'll get to that in a minute, but I think it's important. The only thing we're going to do here is Starbucks claims on this side and then the Ford memo on the other side. Okay. At some point I'll blow this side up so we can follow it better, and maybe you can read it better on the screen. But these kind of things depend on a close read, and what Starbuck claims and what's going on are, for the most part, two different things. So, big news. So usually what happens is he sends an email now, and what will happen is the companies will do a preemptive strike. They'll get his email saying, we're going to look into your DEI stuff. And then the companies will do a preemptive strike before he's able to do that. And that night or the next day, send down an email or a memo. And then Robby Starbuck, without really having to do anything, claims victory. That's kind of like a shakedown. The only question to me is if there's anything of value changing hands here. So anyway, here's what he claims: ending the participation in HRC's woke corporate equality index credit system. By the way, I'm pretty sure that's true. At least that's what they say in the memo. One of the problems I have with all of this is that Robby Starbuck just believes everything that's in the memo. Boom, we've won. But, that's kind of, I don't know, naive, obtuse. They can say anything they want in a memo and still practice it, which is what I think is going on here, actually. But Starbuck wants to claim victory, and then he wants your money. And this post will show it. Anyway, then he gets into like weasel words. It sounds like there will be no more donations to Pride events. Okay. ERG groups must be focused on business. By the way, both of those things are false. No supplier or dealership diversity quotas. Dude can't read. I'll show you this in a minute. This is manifestly false. CEO calls for respect and civility toward all ideologies, hints at merit-based approach. No, he fucking does not. Anyway, so those are the things he claimed he won. Then he says, this is the moderate part. This is where Starbucks getting more clever. This isn't everything we want, but it's a great start. We're now focusing on multi-billion-dollar organizations to change their policies without even posting, just from fear. Ooh. I don't know about that. I don't know if this is really true. There's not a lot of there. Look, you're not going to shame these people into turning over DEI just because you're some internet influencer with 500,000 people on your freaking subscriber list. It's just not going to happen. Anyway, he says he promises he'll do a second report. He's never done a second report on John Deere, which still has DEI, Polaris, which still has DEI, Indian, which still has eliminated the colorized Indian logo for DEI reasons, by the way, in 2023 from their motorcycles. At Lowe's, DEI is still he's not following up. He's just claiming victory and moving on. So I would let me just cap this off and we can get rid of this post from Starbuck. If you love what we're doing, subscribe and pay $5 a month. That's great. Yeah, no, hard pass, dude. Hard pass. And the reason why it's a hard pass is because of what Ford actually wrote. If you look at the Ford memo, there's 3-4 paragraphs here of, hey, we're great. And most of the stuff here, paragraph 1, I'll just to give you a sense of this, paragraph 1 is actually a harken back to Henry Ford himself. They talk about their greatest strength, about diverse experiences and perspectives and talents. And then they go into building a brighter future, being mindful of our employees. They hold a wide range of beliefs. Okay, so that's all sort of on the surface decent. But, I'm going to show you here in a minute, but maybe it's not. Let's go through the bullet points, okay? Ford remains deeply committed to fostering safe and inclusive workspace. That's DEI. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's DEI. They're stating they're not getting rid of it. Okay? Now, this wouldn't be a problem if they wouldn't have had DEI in the first place. Then you might be able to take their word for it. But as I'll show you, this is all DEI. And you'll also notice Starbuck noted in his piece. Let me see if I can find the right button. He noted in his piece that he posted online is that the hints at merit-based approach. So Ford remains leveraging their diverse perspectives, backgrounds, and thinking styles to craft the best products, services, and experiences for our customers. That is not what you would call a merit-based approach. No, Ford is still maintaining DEI in this sentence. Yeah, I understand it's a little loosey-goosey. Maybe they're not, you might say to yourself. But the fact is that they are. They believe that your background, your perspective is dependent upon inclusivity. That is race, gender, whatever. Okay? That's not merit-based. Now, Ford states that it does not... This one right here, let's remind ourselves what Starbuck said. Okay? He said no supplier or dealership diversity quotas. Right? There it is. Ford does not utilize hiring quotas or tie compensation to the achievement of specific diversity goals. Likewise, we continue to develop a dealer body that reflects the communities they serve. Here it is. We will not use quotas for minority dealerships or suppliers. Okay, you got that? You see what Starbuck did? You see what he did? He said no supplier or dealership diversity quotas. He's misleading you. Starbuck is claiming that there will be no dealership or diversity, no supplier or dealership diversity quotas across the board. That's what he's saying. Ford says none of that for minority dealerships or suppliers. You've got to be kidding me. How can someone mislead his readers so much when the black and white is right before you? Do the people not read? I mean, I don't understand it. Ford is a global company. We will continue to put our resources into taking care of our customers, our team communities, by publicly versus publicly commenting on the polarizing issues of the day. There are times when we'll speak out on core issues if we believe our voice can make a positive difference. In other words, Ford is saying, screw you, we're going to do this DEI stuff and say something about it, whether you like it or not. Okay? You got to give them balls up for that. But that's essentially what Ford is saying. All right? No change. No change. Over the past year, we have evolved our employee resources groups to focus on networking, mentorship, personal and professional development, and community service. All ERGs are open to all employees. Now, okay, what did Starbuck say about this? ERG groups must be focused on business. Okay, tell me where that is in here. Over the past year, we've evolved to focus on networking, mentorship, personal and professional development, and community service. It's not saying it's, they're blatantly not saying they must be focused on business. How do I know that? Because they say their ERG groups are focused on networking, mentorship, personal and professional development. None of that shit has anything to do with business. This is all outside the business. It might include some business, but it's outside the business. And furthermore, it doesn't say what kind of networking, what kind of mentorship, what kind of professional and personal development. It doesn't state that. This does not state, this fourth bullet point does not state we're moving away from ESG, we're moving away from DEI. DEI could still be a part of networking, mentorship, personal and professional development, and community service, period. They don't state unequivocally they're leaving it, So once again, Starbuck did not tell the truth here. He did not tell the truth. This is a embellishment to say, well, actually to put it the best way I can. Starbuck embellished this. Ford Philanthropy will continue to support causes that help move people forward and upward, aligning Ford's 120-year-plus legacy to build a better world. We will direct our philanthropic efforts to areas where we can make the biggest positive difference. This is page 2. For the most people, including education of the future work of entrepreneurship and essential services such as our support and volunteer work with Team Rubicon veteran-led group dedicated to disaster recovery. Nowhere in there do they say they're backing off from DEI. Nowhere. Nowhere in there do they say they're backing off from ESG. Nowhere. Now, the one thing that all of these businesses have done, for the most part, is they've stated that they're not going to report to the Human Rights Campaign anymore. That's maybe the one thing that he gets right. But I just want to state something. Starbuck thinks this is a big win. It's not. It's just voluntary. There's really nothing. So what? They're not going to report to the Human Rights Campaign. Who cares? Who gives a crap? Are they still going to practice it at the corporation is what matters. And Robby Starbuck said that they're getting rid of it. They're getting rid of DEI, sort of. Not everything. Well, so I went to Ford today, and there it is. Look, if you're going to remember Robby Starbuck, when he talked about Indian, he said Indian immediately removed all their DEI from their website. Now, that was true, but Indian is a subsidiary of Polaris, and Polaris still has DEI on their website. Furthermore, Indian did not return the colorized Indian head logo on their motorcycles. That's still DEI. And it's still today. Nevertheless, Robby Starbuck claimed victory. Every time he claims victory, go to the company's page in question and see if it's true. Because Ford is still practicing DEI. It's right here. This is live right now on their corporate mission and goals. Okay? Ford has been pioneering an opportunity to people with regardless of race, gender, ability, sexual orientation, and background. They take pride in the realization they must go further to create a company where differences are valued and every team can bring their whole selves to work. You've got to be kidding me. This is just wokeism at Ford still. Now, what else do they say? Creating a culture of belonging isn't just the right thing to do. It's a smart thing. Diversity breeds innovation. Remember, now, if you go back to what Robby Starbuck said, he said that CEO calls for respect and civility toward all ideologies, hints at a merit-based approach. What does Ford say? That diversity in and of itself is innovative. Okay? That's not merit-based, folks. DEI is still at Ford. Then they talk about women at Ford, and then they move on to strategic priorities. I want you to look at this. This is just unbelievable. Probably the respectful and inclusive in culture is what we're most interested in here. Inclusion is more than just bringing diverse groups of people together, but rather finding ways to amplify the voices of everyone in the room. Every member of our Ford family deserves to be respected, valued, and heard. That means we don't just talk about what's important. We take clear actions to make a difference. All right, what does that mean? Ford claimed in its memo that I read to you that they do not in any way engage in quotas, right? Right here, bullet point number 2. Ford does not utilize hiring quotas, okay? Now, Robby Starbuck just bought that and said, okay, yeah, woohoo, we win. Ford states here clearly that they have to take actions to make a difference. That means quotas. That's quota. There's no way that they can tell if their actions, if they're meeting the goals of their policies unless they take actions to fulfill it. Again, diversity breeds innovation. This is not meritorious. This is not about merit. Companies that attract and retain the most diverse workforce will win. That's not meritorious. That's basically diversity is our strength. Where have we heard that before? I don't know if I realize I'm swimming up a stream a little bit. But Robby Starbuck is misleading his readers and misleading you. If you are buying this stuff and then giving him money, you are buying into a person who is claiming victories on matters that is still not true. I have said many times in these few videos on him that this is a long haul battle. Just because a company says something doesn't mean they're going to do it. Robby Starbuck takes them at their word, says maybe, we have a little more to do, but never goes back and checks. He claims a win, then he moves on. We're not winning. We're not winning, folks. And to have some out there blue pill you to tell you you're winning means you'll become complacent thinking you've won, while all of these companies still remain committed to ESG and DEI. That's the reality of it. That's a fact. Do your own research. Don't even trust me. Do not trust me. I'm not asking for your money, and I'm not gonna. So I'm doing this for no compensation, as opposed to Robby Starbuck, who's claiming he's doing something while he's really misleading you and then asking you for your money. Be smarter. This battle is going to be tougher than you think. We're not winning this. We're only getting them to send out, strong worded memos that really aren't that strong. Okay? Hang loose.